Well, hello, D-Roy Cruz here, your life applications officer. I did a video last night and it was earlier than this. I was exhausted. I was so exhausted that I was dozing off while I was doing this video. It was funny. I says, I can't do that. Atheists love to say all kinds of stuff. They won't accuse me of being sleepy, they'll accuse me of being drunk, okay? And last time I did a video where I was so tired, they said, when you gonna stop drinking? You got a drinking problem. That's what's wrong with you Christians, you got a drinking problem. What are we trying to win about? Like, what are these atheists on for? Watched more Dillahunty videos today and yesterday. And the reason you say, oh, well, you must have a thing for Dillahunty. You really getting up on the Dillahunty stuff lately, aren't you? Yes. Because Matt Dillahunty is showing me what the agenda of atheism is. And every caller that calls into the atheist experience is not asking the question that Matt Dillahunty needs to be asked. And this is the question. Why do you feel Christians need to call into the atheist experience and defend their case? What if they don't have a case? What if they don't have a position? What if they don't have a claim? They're just Christians. That's not what this video is about. This video is about, I just realized after doing 4 more videos that I didn't do a part 2, like I promised, of part 1 of why I'm not an atheist. Here's part 2. Here's part 2. And I only have 3 things here. I really have hundreds of reasons why I'm not an atheist, but some of them might sound like, they all go back in a circle. They all go back around to a circle. I could sum them all up into one big reason. But for your entertainment purposes, I'll put it into 3 more reasons why I'm not an atheist. And even these 3 might sound like I'm saying the same thing that I said in the last. I don't know. But I've been watching a lot of Dillahunty. And I watched a video today that was very disturbing where he was arguing. He did one that was a debate with this guy named something. I forget the first name, or I'm sorry, the last name of the guy. His name was His first name was And he was some Christian apologist. And his way of dealing with Dillahunty was he recorded Dillahunty contradicting himself. Over and over again. Most of the audience were atheists. It meant nothing that it's very clear that Matt was constantly changing his argument to make sure that his callers that are calling into the atheist experience, it's very clear that he would change even his position at times to make sure that he always beat the caller in an argument. And the caller would call in and he would ask a question. And Matt would say, "What is your argument?" Well, the dude's not trying to argue with you. He's asking you a simple question. And you say, "What is your argument?" It's all about arguing. And then I watched the Dillahunty video, Atheist Experience video today. Matt wasn't there. It was two of his disciples that did the show. One was that lovely lady. I found out her first name is Jen. Didn't know she was gay. And how do I know she was gay? Because there was this guy that called into the show and he tried to use the example of the fact that atheists never study and never look at the history of homosexuality in any country and the damage that it's caused and so forth like that. And I'm not picking on homosexuals. I'm going by a documentary and the argument that many Christians may have against it. This is not the gay hour. This is just me saying what went down on the video. But you know, then she went to telling her crazy story about how two women can have a baby. They go to a sperm bank and get the sperm. Two men can have a baby. They go find a child that was recently born that's up for adoption. And she said, you know, she admitted that she was gay, and it was like, I didn't know that. I shouldn't be surprised, because according to Romans chapter 1, when you reject God, you have no reason to be straight. That's another video. Romans chapter 1. I mean, really though, if you read Romans chapter 1 in the Bible, you know what the Bible is, as much as I love the Bible, it is a bigot. It really is. It is a bigot. Bible is full of bigotry. Because if you really listen to what it's saying, and you add that, this is why people hate Christians, because you add that to everyday life, then you realize if you don't accept the gospel, if you don't accept the commandment, if you don't accept the proper understanding of what God is and what he wants and what he expects and what that has to do with us. If you suppress, and this guy that was arguing with Dillahunty, the debate, he said all this. If you know, atheists suppress the truth. Okay? And Christians proclaim the truth. Okay? And then Matt Dillahunty tried to switch up on him and decide the truth is something, you know, something else. He didn't want to give the Bible credit for having any truth. So I'm going to bed. I'm late. My eyes are probably red. I don't know. Yesterday, I was like this. I did a video like this. I did this. I looked at the playback of the video. I was like this the whole time. And then I fell asleep. I was talking. I was like, yeah, man, I got up. I said, oh. But then I came home tonight and I figure I got to do this video. So here it is. Why I'm not an atheist, part 2. First of all, who cares? Well, you seem to think that, first of all, that I have to care that you are an atheist. And everywhere you look, atheists look for pockets. They look for room to express that they are atheists in places, and it's like some new video game or something. It's like a new way to eat. Like me, I'm a flexitarian. That's my new thing. I'm a flexitarian. Okay? And if you listen to vegetarians and flexitarians and vegans talk, vegans think that vegetarians are hypocrites, okay? And vegans and vegetarians think that flexitarians are the worst of sinners. Okay? If you eat just a little wee bit of meat, it doesn't matter, because to a vegetarian, you're missing the point. And to a vegan, you're still slaughtering animals. Every time you eat a piece of meat, that's the death of an animal. I'm not going to eat your mama, so let me eat the animal, please. I don't think your mom is as tasty. Okay? Stop the madness. Stop that false cult religion nonsense. Just stop. But that's just an example of what's going on. But to an atheist, just like vegetarians or vegans, they want credit from everybody. They want somebody to pat them on the back for their veganism or their vegetarianism. And let me get on with this. Why I'm not an atheist, part 2. First of all, I don't need to be an atheist. That is the biggest. Well, that's not the biggest. That's almost the biggest. Number 3 is the biggest. But that is like the surface right there. I don't need to be an atheist. I just listened to, I didn't listen, I read one of the comments to my last video about me being non-atheist, me being a theist or whatever you want to call me. I call myself Christian. I didn't even know what the word, I've been a Christian all these years. I didn't know what a word theist was until I got in an argument with an atheist. I said, what you call me? I thought I was a Christian. I'm a theist. Okay. I'm just another stupid theist. Me being a Christian don't mean squat. Okay, well. And you being an atheist means what? Okay. I'll explain to you what it is. I don't need to be an atheist. Why do I need to be an atheist to not believe in God? Well, okay. I don't fully... See, this is where agnostics are somewhat smarter than atheists. Because agnostics keep themselves out of horrifying, embarrassing arguments. And they keep themselves out of being accused of blasphemy. And being accused of being just a nasty old internet thug or whatever. Because they don't feel that it's up for argument. Now, an agnostic may not believe that God exists. The difference between him and a militant atheist would be that he doesn't feel it's his place to slap a Christian with the idea that God does not exist. If a Christian wants to believe that God exists, that's his business. But like I always say, no Christian, no atheist. The only reason why there are atheists, because this cult called atheism, this cult called militant atheism, is all about persecuting the church. Without that, there is no reason to be an atheist. I repeat, this cult could care less about evidence of God. The only reason why they talk about evidence of God, because they think that if they talk about evidence of God, they're going to shock us in a way, and it's working, because a lot of people are giving up their faith. When you say, show me evidence for God, man, that hurts. It's like, ouch, okay? And there's a lot of people who never ever studied the Bible, like a lot of the people that call into the atheist experience. They know about as much about the Bible as a 2-year-old. Where have you spent time reading? Where have you sat down and listened to a pastor interpret all these things? Not that you really need a pastor to interpret all these things, but if you're really that slow, maybe you do. If you have no Spirit of God in you, maybe you do need a pastor to interpret for you, because the people that are calling into the atheist experience are making the atheists feel like they're gods themselves. They're making them feel invincible because they come in with stupid, yes, they are half the time fallacious arguments, and I don't even believe in those words. Those are words that I didn't really know either until I met an atheist. Fallacy. Ain't nobody in my church ever called me a fallacy, okay? I've been a Christian since 1986. I ain't never been called no fallacy until I got called one by an atheist. I ain't never heard of a fallacious argument, or an indoctrination, or a spaghetti monster, any of this stuff, until I met an atheist. Okay? Talk about somebody putting words in your mouth and sending mail to your house that ain't got nothing to do with you. Hello, atheism. You bite the dust. You really do. You bite the dust. But one of the reasons why I'm not an atheist is because I don't need to be an atheist. What is it about God or the church that I can't do as a Christian? Show me one thing that I need to be an atheist to do. Do I need to be an atheist to enjoy animals, to enjoy the sun, to enjoy video games? Do I need atheists to go out and have a job, to go to college, to get an education, to, what do I need atheism for? What? What do I need it for? I only need it for one thing. That's because I already have this hatred for theists, as they put it, that I not only want to leave their cult, so to speak, but I want to abolish them. I want to persecute them. I want to make them upset for whatever story I want to make up about what happened to me within their cult or because of their cult or whatever. And it's funny how I'm getting feedback from the first video I did, where I said that, and I didn't say these things that I'm saying here, in the last video I did on why I'm not an atheist. But what I'm seeing is these people commenting to me with insults. That's all they know how to do, is throw insults at me. They're offended that I know why I'm not an atheist. See, that right there proves my position that I don't even have. And it proves their position, which is nothing to pat yourself on the back about. It's really a sad state to be in. But I'm not an atheist because I don't need to be an atheist. I don't need to be an atheist. Even if I didn't believe in God, that doesn't, you look at the atheists that come to my channel and comment. You look at the atheists that are on the Atheist Experience. You look at the atheists like Matt Dillahunty. You look at Sam Harris. You look at Christopher Hawkins, or whatever his name is, or Hawkins, whatever his name is. You look at all these different skeptic atheist people. Okay? Even if I didn't believe in God, why would I need to be an atheist? All these atheists are all about setting traps for Christians so that Christians can be mocked and embarrassed and humiliated. They look for ways to open up a channel where we can argue. And if there's a Christian that's popular out there, they'll find ways to connect that Christian to a debate of some sort so that they can make a spectacle out of him to anyone that believes in him. It's very, very sad. It's very, very sad. I don't have a problem with God, and I know plenty of non-Christians who don't have any religion whatsoever that don't have a problem with God. The song is called Tomorrow. It's not called I'm an Atheist. The title of the song is Tomorrow, where people choose that they're not interested in the Lord right now because they don't think they want to go that path right now. And the Christian says, but tomorrow may be too late. But that's the title of the song. And you don't find anyone that says tomorrow, calling into the Atheist Experience or joining the Atheist Experience, being a part of the Center for the Freedom, the Foundation for the Freedom of Religion Against Christianity, or Freedom from Religion, or whatever you call that foundation. Okay? None of these people need to go there just because they don't believe in God. So I guess they're not atheists, because they disagree with atheists. They hate atheists because they think atheists are troublemakers. And I can understand why. Because they don't have a problem, just like I don't have a problem. And if I didn't believe in God, I still wouldn't have a problem with Christians. I wouldn't have a problem with God. If you think, and people have told me in the past when I used to evangelize, well, I tried to evangelize. It's not my calling, but they would tell me, they would say stuff like, well, if you think there's a God, okay. And if you think your God can heal me or do anything for me, go ahead, lay hands on me and pray for me. Go ahead. You'd be surprised. There were things that happened to people who used our faith. They said, if you think that there is a God and that God can do anything for me, go ahead and lay hands on me and pray for me. They were not afraid of us. They were not trying to hate us either. They gave us the benefit of the doubt. And even though we knew that we're going to be up the creek, if we lay hands on this brother and pray for him, and things get worse, we're up the creek. It didn't get worse. It got better. And this guy, he was thanking and praising God, even though there's no evidence that he got healed of anything. But the pain was less. The situation was less. When he went to the doctor, it was less. Okay? He appreciated us for our faith, because he believed that it was our faith that made him better. Because he didn't have any faith, in his opinion. He didn't have any faith. And neither did he care about faith. But that's not good enough for an atheist. Most atheists, anyway. You have to go to war against Christians. You can't let a Christian be out here living his life having God up here in his head. Even if we were to just keep Jesus up here in our heads, or keep Jesus here in our hearts. That's not good enough for an atheist. If an atheist finds out you're a Christian, he's going to try to find ways to open up a stage for an argument. He's bothered by the fact that you're a Christian no matter what you do, no matter how you live, no matter what you say. They'll find a way to punish you. Unless you're one of them kind of Christians, or one of them kind of non-atheists that accept homosexuality and you go off because you think everybody's being too evil to homosexuals. Then they'll just love you and say, oh man, we really appreciate you, we love your videos and all like that. And then they'll just ignore you when you say anything spiritual. But I did not know Jen was a lesbian. I did not know that. I did not know that. I'm wondering if the other lady, you know, the black-haired one, she's pretty hot. Not my business. I'm going to tell you what you should be telling me. It's not my business. Just like whether I believe in God or not, if I want to believe in God instead of whatever you believe in, it's not your business. My business. I'm allowed, I'm free, I'm allowed to do what I want to do. If people can abort babies, cut their wieners off, because they looked in the mirror this morning and realized that they're not a man. Okay? You damn right I can be a Christian. You damn right I can be a Christian. And it ain't none of your business. If homosexuals can get married, okay, and call that holy matrimony, guess what? I can put 100 crosses on my church if I want to. I can put the 10 Commandments all over my house if I want to, inside and outside. I can have it on my car. I can have billboards in every atheist belt that says John 3:16 if I want to. Why? Because when we've come to the point of immodesty, and immodesty is beauty, immodesty is righteousness, and immorality is a good thing because you simply don't know people and you don't understand separation, you don't understand spiritual matters. You are carnal and don't understand spiritual matters. Then if we're going to be that secular, then please let me please let me preach the gospel and be the Christian I want to be. Okay? And oh yeah, Barack Obama pulled that fast one, and he made sure before he stepped out of office, he got that same-sex marriage bill signed. But what you gonna do for us Christians? I'm hoping and praying Donald Trump do something special for us Christians. Maybe we can make all the atheists live in one part of the state. You know, or being atheists love slavery so much, maybe we can put them in concentration camps. Okay? Oh, Lord. Alright. This is taking too long. I'm having too much fun, see? And I'm serious. This is just entertaining. Part 2, number 2. Atheists haven't proven to be more moral or make the world a better place or solve life's problems. Now, you come to me and you tell me it's dumb to be a Christian. And you want to go to me and tell me about slavery when I don't know any Christians that have slaves or practices slavery. You want to tell me about the lynchings that went on moons ago before any of us was born. Didn't them people die? Ain't they dead? And ain't there a lot of people that are Christian, Muslim, atheists, New Age, Buddhists and that? Ain't there a lot of people in jail that have religious feelings too? So it's not like Christians are getting away with crime. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're a Christian, an atheist, a Muslim, or just a social justice warrior, if you do a crime, you do the time. Why are we hating on Christians for the Christians that are dead? And some of them died by the sword because they lived by the sword. But you tripping. I don't get that. Let's go back in time and talk about your mama, your daddy, your slave trader mama and daddy. Should I condemn you for that? Because that was closer to this period than going all the way back to BC to talk about some slavery of the Levites, when the Levites are history. They have not only are they resting in peace, or maybe someone's burning in hell, depending on what's going on, but whatever. Not only are they resting in peace, okay, but there is no more Levite. That is not a code of anything anymore. They didn't just die out, their stance, their position died out. But see, you don't know that because atheists don't read that far into the Bible. Which is another reason why I'm not an atheist. Because I don't want you embarrassing me. If I become an atheist, I don't want you making me look stupid for hanging out with you and sucking up your dogma. You're going to pick on these Christians, pick on them for something they're honestly doing wrong. You're going to pick on these Christians, pick on them for something that they're doing to you, or they're doing to me, or somebody you care about. Don't pick on them just because they don't believe like you do. And I saw another video today of a guy who called himself an anti-theist. He didn't want to call himself a regular atheist. He said he was in some anti-theist movement, and the anti-theist movement is against atheists. Oh, God. But the guy had some nice things to say. And he talked about how many different people keep saying things that are irrelevant. And that's another video, but that is another reason why I'm not an atheist. I don't like being irrelevant. If you think that I'm irrelevant for being a Christian, trust me, if I was an atheist, I'd be super irrelevant, not super intelligent. But atheists have proven no moral codes. They have not looked at anything and said, well, this is what we believe. This is what the atheists believe about this or about that. No, it's all about getting Christians to shut up about this or that, because Christians, they're trying to say that Christians aren't allowed to have a belief about this or about that. Yes, we are. Now, do I really feel that we need to keep badgering homosexuals after they done got gay marriage? No. We need to stop talking about it, because the bill's already signed. Okay? There's nothing we can do about it, so stop talking about it. But my problem is when people find you're a Christian, they think that we're supposed to feel guilty for the slavery that's already passed. They think that we're supposed to feel guilty for the homosexuality that we have yet to bow to, that we have yet to treat like a reality. You're free to be gay and be as gay as you want to be gay. But I owe you nothing. You are free to be an atheist. Okay? But if you're going to read my Bible, read it to learn. Don't read it to try to get a point across to me, because I don't see it that way. I'm not one of the people to call into the atheist experience. It doesn't bother me that someone says they don't believe in God. It did bother me back in 2013. It didn't bother me, it just shocked me. It was like, whoa, and I went straight to my pastor and I says, what are we going to do if they come and say to us, where does evidence for your God? And they all got quiet at me and looked at me like, you don't know what to say? Well, we were doing an enactment. We were acting it out. I go and I tell you, show me evidence for God. There is absolutely zero evidence for God. Show me evidence for God. And they just, well, you're not going to call the cops every time you see an atheist. You're not going to, you know what I'm saying? What if he don't want to leave? What if he wants to argue? How do you tell him you could tell him you don't want to argue, and you could accuse him of harassment. Because seriously though, I mean, if this is the thing that Christians don't understand. If you were capable of winning an argument or a debate with an atheist, the title wouldn't be atheist. It'd be something else. Okay? Because when you say there is no God, and out of one mouth you say, one side of your mouth you say, well, I just don't see evidence for God. And then out of the other side of your mouth, you make all these, I'll say your word for you, fallacious arguments. Okay? To say that there's proof that there's no God. There isn't. Okay? And if I felt that there was proof, I would be an atheist. And if I felt that atheists are the most moral, loving, giving people on the planet, I would be an atheist. Back in 1990 something, I might be an atheist. Ain't no way I'm going to do it now because I'm too far ahead. I am a certified brown belt in Yeshua Dote. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Okay? Steven Seagal ain't got nothing on me. Neither does Conor McGregor when it comes to spiritual matters. Okay? Last but not least, I understand God. I understand why you can't see him. Some people don't understand that. They think God owes them something. If God owed me something, I would have never become a Christian. I become a Christian because I feel that I owe him everything. And all he owes me is my life. All he owes me is to be with him in glory when I die. He don't owe me nothing. Especially in this environment. He don't owe me squat. If he want to send a hurricane, he want to kill some kids, he want to let, the devil have his way, whatever he wants to do, he's still God. And if I believe that God exists, I believe that I exist because he exists. Because without the breath of God blowing, this is an evolution coming in and out of my nostrils. This is the breath of God. I believe that. I believe that with all my heart. I understand God. I understand why he's invisible, why we can't see him. I understand why, receiving anything from God and talking about God is all about faith. I mean, you're not going to sit down with him and have a cigarette. That's an abomination in his eyes. You're not going to sit down with him and talk about, the whore you slept with last night. What do you need God to be in your presence for? The only reason why I need God to be in my presence is because the devil was in my presence. And the devil, I need power from the invisible to fight those things that are invisible. Before you get lost, the word we're talking about here is the word carnal. Carnal. When carnal things happen, I need something more spiritual than the carnality to fight it. Or I don't expect you to understand. After listening to hours and hours of Dillahunty today, I don't expect you to understand if you're an atheist. But I understand God. I understand the Bible. Because when I read the Bible, there's nothing in there that tells me, go get some slaves. Why are you sitting there? Go get some slaves. You have a right to have slaves. I don't see that in the Bible. I see that this is what happened at this time. Okay? Just like one guy was talking about Darwinism today and how evolution has changed since Darwinism. Oh my God, how hypocritical can you get? So you're telling me that evolution has a right to have a new covenant. But we can't have a new covenant. Evolution has a right to have a new covenant, a New Testament. But we are not allowed to have a New Testament in the Bible because the New Testament is making excuses for the Old Testament, according to Matt Dillahunty. So he'll make up fallacious arguments to attack the New Testament as well. Everything's fallacious, okay, with Matt Dillahunty. But that's 3 reasons why I'm not an atheist. And those are the last 3 reasons, because from the bottom of my heart, this ain't a cover-up. This is not an argument. This is not a claim. This is not an indoctrination. And sure as hell ain't no fallacy. This is what we believe. Okay? And we believe this with the bottom of our hearts. Okay? That's why I'm not an atheist. But I respect that you want to seek the truth. But I don't respect how much time you're spending trying to discredit those that believe that they have it. In Jesus' name. I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. I am DeRoy Cruz, your life applications officer, and I approve this message. Good night.